I have the tools, and I made the time to combine different Boilermaker cartridges to come up with new designs. I cannot wait to share these with you, my loyal followers. Let's go. Hello, scrapbookers and creative friends. I'm Linda Petuch, Creative Memories Independent Advisor in Jupiter, Florida. Welcome to Thursday Thoughts. And today I'm going to share with you some borders that I made with the Boilermaker cartridge system, interchanging the different cartridges. And there's a little trick to that. There's a trick to everything, you know, but there's a little trick to it, which I think once I share that with you, you hopefully will be inspired to try to create some of your own different combos to tell your story and to decorate your pages. So let me get you started and show you how I decided what I would do. Now, the first thing that I did was I went through my Boilermaker cartridges. I have them, I'm lucky, I have that storage from Stampin' Storage, so I'm able to visibly see all of my Boilermaker cartridges. And I do kind of categorize them on my storage, which is right here. That's why I'm pointing over there. But what I did was I went through and I found different cartridges that I thought would go together in a design idea, if it was like a theme. So over here are all my ocean and sea things, or water things, and some more down here. Actually, this is all very summery. These were celebration ones with music and cupcakes and beverages. Down here, the scientist in me, the science teacher in me, just could not resist the chance to have like a little notebook, like a science notebook or a journal, and some outdoor activities, some plants. And then these over here on this side are all purely designs. I looked at the different diamond ones and some of the other newer Boilermaker cartridges and decided which ones would go. Now, how do we decide which ones will work together? The secret is this. You need to look at on the underside of your Boilermaker cartridges. And I'm hoping you can see that. Let me check and see if you can see that. Yes. So you see the silver part here? The silver part is very similar, and of course the design is different, but you see how they're all attached at the bottom. These would be edge punches. These would just stay on the edge of the paper. But what's important about that is that when they are all edge punches, the possibility of them working together by mixing and matching works much better. So these are edge punches. These are chain punches. Let's look at the difference here. So on these, you see there's no silver on each end. See how you can see the silver here where it's attached? This would be a chain punch. These would drop off. And even when they're chain punches, you have to look a little bit further. See, like the back of this little kissing fish, where it's cut off, looks like the sea star is going to work just fine on there. Now, it'll be a little bit of a funky shape, but if that doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother me at all, because you're doing a series of punches. But you see how that would combine together. Same thing on any of these. You know, you look and see, would they join together? This was almost meant to be. This looks like part of this glass here. But that's what you have to look at first, is to see how they're going to work. Now, it does get tricky sometimes, and I'll show you when I start showing you my design ones. But that's the basic thing. You want to make sure that the punches that you're trying to combine are joined at the same place or punched. So like, again, these are all edge punches, chain punches. So you can't really mix and match. I've tried it a little bit, and you end up with this really finite, tiny little piece of paper hanging on, and it doesn't work. It becomes too fragile. So anyway, let me clear this away, and then I'm going to start showing you, and I'll start with my designs that I made that were purely geometric designs. So I started with these three. This is the Geometric Gems. This is a relatively new Boilermaker cartridge. This one is Dotted Diamond Chain, and this one is Diamond Windows Chain. As I said, I was looking at the diamond design. That's what I was kind of focusing on. So you'll see the good, the bad, and the ugly here. So what I did was I guess let me just show you first to start with. If you're not familiar with the Board Maker cartridge system, we have this wonderful housing for our cartridges. Now, these pegs have to stick out. You want the creative memory sign, always goes in, and you can hear a click. And then you're going to use this little holder here is for the paper. It has magnetic strips that hold the paper in place. And the whole purpose of this little rack here is to line up your paper so that it then can be held by the magnets. You turn it back, and then you can start punching. These little knobs that are sticking out here coincide and hook into the grooves that are in the housing here. So there are 6 punches that you make, and I'm just going to do the first one to show you. So you put that on there, you press down, pull it out, and you can see the first punch. So I discovered with this one that I I had to combine these in a certain order. So I will just show you that. Let's just get this one finished first. So I punched that first, but in order for it to work, now I do have a second Board Maker cartridge, so for speed, I'm just going to put this on here. All right, and I'll add the other. They both work the same. They're just different colors. All right, so the next one that I did was this diamond, because it has to have something to hold on to. So I did the first punch, and they're also, I don't know if you can see that, they're little pegs here that stick out and and it aligns with the line that's here. Then in there. Oops, see, didn't work. It worked before. Okay, well, I would say this is not a good one to do because, yeah, it just barely hangs on. I guess I didn't line it up just right. Okay, so we're gonna say, okay, be daring if you want. I'm gonna take this out. Let's turn it over, and let's do the other side. And we'll do it with the punches that actually will work together. So we're gonna leave this one out for now. This is the Geometric Gems chain. It worked, but it must have been my lucky day that it worked when I was making this. So you can do this one of 2 ways. You can go in and punch every other one. You can do 1 and then 3 and 5. I'll show you. We'll punch. We'll just alternate 1. Then we'll skip. Here's the second one. We'll skip the second one. We'll go to 3. Skip 4. Go to 5. And now we'll go back with the other punch, and we'll fill it in, and we'll do 2. And 6 over here. And then you end up with a design that alternates the different Board Maker cartridges. Still in that diamond design, but it alternates it a little bit. So that's another way just to add a little bit of interest. Of course, it's not something you have to do, but to me, I like it because it's another way to use your punches. But obviously, this little one is a special one. I did get it to work. Let me just show you that. Let me clear some of this mess out of the way. I did get it to work a little. Okay. These are the 2 like I just did for you. And you know, you can change whether you start with one or start with the other one. This one I started with with the Geometric Gemstones. And look at that. See, it worked. I did 1 here. And then this is actually all 3 of the Board Maker cartridges. They worked on this one. And then here I did 2 of this geometric chain. So if you don't line it up just exactly right, I guess that's why it doesn't work. So you don't have to take a chance with that, but it does look really pretty together. If nothing else, I thought I saved these because these would really make nice embellishments on the edge of a picture, 4x4. Or this looks like it's a little bit, well, let's see how long it is. If it's 2 punches, it should be, yeah, it's 4 inches. So, because they're 2 inches wide. So you can use them for embellishments as well, once you've punched them. If you have this tragedy that it falls apart, we're going to make lemonade out of these lemons. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so you get the idea that we just alternate when we're putting this together. So let me show you some of the other designs. Move these out of the way and clean up my mess. Oh, and let me just, here's my disclaimer. When you do this, no matter how careful you are, by the end of this work activity, fun activity, it is going to look like it was snowing in your workspace. The paper, of course, or like you had a big party with confetti everywhere, because it does kind of make a little paper mess, but it's a small price to pay to have these beautiful borders. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, so continuing with the design idea, I decided I wanted to use these other, this out of the way, I wanted to use these other designs that were just purely geometric, and that, here are these four. So on this one, you can see how I combined them, and I have just different color paper here so you can see them better. So on this one, I started with one, so each end has one. Okay, this is the square link chain, kind of new, and then the cable chain, which I thought would be really pretty together, and it is. Here it is in this color. Here it is. Now I started the opposite way. And look at that. This one I alternated. The fun of it when you alternate, okay, it matches now, but if you were doing a double page, all you'd have to do, if you could have it continue that way, or you could flip it over and have it be the opposite, so they'd work toward each other. But it's kind of fun. I like the challenge of trying to see what looks good together and what works when you start punching. If you don't want to waste your paper, you can use just scrap paper. And the reason that I did it pretty much just on cardstock is that I wanted you to really be able to see the designs. You can use designer paper, of course, if you want. Some designs look better with designer paper than others. You just have to play with it. But there we go. So here's that geometric design. And then I got kind of storybooky. And I decided, oh no, one more design. I forgot. Okay, this one, I've left these on the edge of the paper because I thought that looked really fun. This is the mosaic diamond, and this is the linear plaid. This linear plaid is relatively new also. So I decided, because it's an edge punch, this is how far it punches in when you put the edge of the cardstock. And then this is the dual colored cardstock. So the fun of that is that if you wanted to, if you just leave the border like this, you can go back and you can add the shapes back in that you had, that you punched out. So that way you can add even more interest to it. Makes it very simple, but it's a self-contained border on your page if you don't cut them off. Now, granted, you can cut them off so that they are whatever width you'd like. I find about 1.5 inches is a good width for that, but I do keep the confetti from all of them that I create, so that way if I want to combine them, and I left this one on here so you could see. It's kind of a fun, I don't know if you want to use that for a border, maybe just an edge of a page, but you can see how nice that looks together. This is just alternating as well. I didn't start any, yeah, this one on these, I just did it. I did the the linear plaid. I did 2 punches of the linear plaid on each end, and then I did the other one, this mosaic diamond in the center. It just changes the look of it. I think it's really fun, and I like that it gives us more use of the tools that we have. Let's get more ideas, more designs. The more the merrier, that's what I say. Okay, moving on. Okay, so I wanted to have something that would be like a garden journal or science notebook. So I decided to use the grass, of course. This is the little notebook edge. And this was our watering cans from springtime that we had this year. But I thought that would be kind of fun. And I did it a couple of different ways. So here I just went through and I punched. I just alternated. I started with this one, then I did this one. Then I did 2 of the notebook and then went back to this one and this one. Okay, and you know, all you have to do is just take them out, and of the cartridge, you can punch down the line. But then I got to thinking, you know, this watering can is going the same direction. This one is going the same direction. So if you wanted to mix directionality, you can do that by just flipping the paper when you are when you're doing the punching, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute. You're going to flip the paper that you're punching so that the designs can go opposite directions. And that I will show you. A picture, an action is worth 1,000 words. So let's take a look at some beachy things. So I'm going to work with these two, the dolphin and the crab. And what's really fun about these two Border Maker cartridges is that the confetti is the actual crab and the dolphin. Oh, I have some in there. I can see them. They're stuck in there. Oh no, poor babies. Let me get them out. Come on, babes. You can do it. I do keep all these, and I keep them on these little trays. And you see how I try to put them together by color? Just makes it easier for when I'm creating things. Okay, there's one way to do this. If it's just stuck and you can't get it out, I'm just going to do it over the wastebasket. Just punch and then the pieces fall out. When you want to remove the cartridge, you push this button, shake it out. And you just make sure there are none left. That looks good. Okay, so let's put our crab in one and our dolphin in the other one. They are both, in addition to being punch outs that have the confetti of the animal, they also are edge punches. So I'm going to take this piece of paper and let's go ahead. Remember, you line up the paper, put the magnets down, flip it back, and now, okay, so I'm gonna punch a dolphin on each end. No, I'm not. I'm gonna punch 2 dolphins in a row, and then I'm gonna do 1 crab. Now the crab doesn't really change, so I can do 2 crabs, but I want my dolphins to be going the other direction. Right now, let's see if you can see them. See how the dolphins are heading to the left. I want them to go the same direction on the other side. So here's what I'm going to do. Take this out. All I'm going to do is take the paper out, flip it over, and by flipping it over, then I'm going to have the other direction ready. Okay, so let's get my dolphins, and I'm going to punch 2 dolphins. So then the result, sorry, ooh, that was loud. The result is that you have your crabs in the center, but then you have the dolphins going opposite directions. And then I think that looks really nice. And then all I did was cut them off on that line where the crab is. See, I just cut it off right underneath the crab on the 12-inch trimmer. I just cut it off there. There it is. I have 2 like that. Oh, this one I didn't. This one I had them all going the same direction. Now, you know, the other thing that you can do, is you can just flip your dolphins over. If you do 2 that are the same, you can flip them over. Okay, so then you have them go that way. But if on one piece you want to have the dolphin go the opposite direction, that's what you do. You just flip the paper over. That's what I meant. That's what I guess I was going to show you. But the other possibility is too, if you have it, we have this. Let's say we want to put this on this watery paper. The crab does show through, but if you wanted to have your dolphin be that kind of shimmery, I love to use the platinum shimmer with them. See how you can just put the dolphins back in here? The confetti. So pretty. Makes it look even more oceanic. Okay. This is not, of course, adhered, but you get the idea. But there's a lot you can do with it, and it's really fun to mix up the different designs. I keep all of the little confetti in these trays. Of course, I take out the waste that I don't want, but I don't want to take time to do that right now. Okay, so now the first person who ever showed me mixing and matching these was Becky below. So thank you for that, Becky, because I have used it a lot. Okay, let's get rid of all these little scraps so I can show you the other designs I came up with. course, got another colored paper here. You can see I'm doing some oceany stuff. All right, so on this one, I have, I use different waves because we have options. We have these two options in the ocean waves. This one is called Elements Edge, and this one Rolling Waves. I don't know, maybe that's not supposed to be waves, but in my mind, it's waves. Okay, and then of course the sandcastle, which take you to the beach. Let me make sure I got them all. Yeah, okay. So here we go. So what you can do is you can just flip them over if you want to do a double page spread. But I love combining the waves and the sandcastles. And you see here I alternated wave, sandcastle, wave, sandcastle. Here I did 2 waves and then 2 sandcastles. So it's just how you want to set it up and what you want to do. Oh, here's the other. This is the other wave that I made. No, the same wave, but instead of the sandcastle, I put sailboats. Yeah, there's one more sandcastle. Yeah, I guess I made a double page here. And then this is the with sailboats. But I think this wave looked really nice with the sailboats. So I did that one. And then let's do another. In addition to the sailboats and the sandcastle, I decided to combine all 3. So here I have the Elements Edge as the waves, Elements Edge, and then I have Elements Edge, and then in one sailboat, and then in the middle 2 sandcastles. What I like about this is it tells a story. Even while this is obviously was a day at the beach. Maybe you went sailing, maybe you built a sandcastle, but in any case, it sets the tone. I just think it's really pretty. And it's fun because you can do that. Again, that's because these are all edge punches, and you can mix and match them that way. Here's the sailboats. So those all work together beautifully. Let's look at some more. Okay, for some chain punches, I used the sea stars and the kissing fish, and I did 2 sea stars on the outside and then 2 little kissy fish in the middle. And then I also combined sea stars and the sunglasses, because now these are all chain punches. You see what chain punches, there's no silver on the edges. All chain punches, and that means they work pretty much together. This one has sea stars and sunglasses in the middle. Just really fun to combine and to make some more designs from the punches or the cartridges that you already have. And the last one I want to show you for the beach. These could be vertical or horizontal. I have bare feet, flip-flops, and puppy feet. Okay, going to the dog beach. And I did this kind of storytelling again. Starting off with the flip-flop. Sometimes that works until the sand flips up on the back of your legs and it hurts. So then you take your shoes off. It's better to be barefooted. Here, alternating flip-flops and bare feet all the way up. And here, we're doing the dog beach. So we have people feet, puppy feet, and people feet. Really fun. It tells a story just by looking at your border. And of course, these have the dropout confetti, which then opens up whatever color you have underneath, which adds another dimension to it. Okay, now let's look at some celebrations. So this is designer paper, but it had a nice pattern, and I liked it because what punches out leaves another additional pattern. These, to me, could be horizontal or vertical. I think they would work either way. This is busy. So let me walk you through this. So I used this confetti. It is called confetti. And then this, the rock on, which, if you're having any kind of a celebration, no doubt decorations like confetti or other decorations and music are probably part of it. So I have 2 confettis and then 2 guitars and then 2 confettis because there's 6 punches in all. Here I alternated guitar, confetti, and so forth. But on this one, I did 2 confettis, 2 guitars, and then looks like I did 3, 1, 2, and then 2 more. But this one, you see what I did? This is where I flipped the paper. I did confetti, confetti, and guitar. Then I flipped the paper over and did guitar, confetti, confetti, so that the guitar should be going opposite directions. So that's another way to do that. All right, let's look at these that are in more solid color. Might be a little bit easier to see. Okay. And the thing about these two now, the only thing is you want to make sure your musical notes are right. So this might really bother a musician. The musical notes aren't exactly right. I didn't even actually notice that until right this minute. But you know, here's the thing. All right, so if you have this and the musical notes are going the wrong way, you could always make a corner out of this, and then the musical notes might be right. Or you can cut it. You can give it a cut, or don't do it that way. In any case, that is the guitar and the confetti. Up to you, but it just makes a pretty design. And again, you can make it horizontal or vertical, combining those two. Now, what would a celebration be without some food and beverages? So I have the cupcake chain, and this is the stacked presents. And I realize it's supposed to be vertical, but I think it looks great as a horizontal chain of presents, and I'm going to show you see what you think. And then, of course, the two beverages, which you can see are chains. They're going to work together. So let's get those. We'll start with the packages. Okay, so we have the cupcakes, and I alternated it. We have the presents and the cupcakes. So they're just cupcakes in the middle. 4 cupcakes, 2 presents. And this is the opposite with the 2 presents in the middle, and then the 4 cupcakes on the outside. It's just a matter of how you want to see that. And you can keep this confetti that comes out if you want to add different colors, if you punch it in different colors. That would be fun. And because this is an identical one, you can flip it over for a double page spread if you want to have it go the other direction. So there's our cupcakes and gifts. And let's look at beverages. Now, I just used cardstock just so that you could see these. It would show up a little bit better. So on this one, I have more adult beverages, and then like lemonade, although that could be sangria. But flexibility, right? Could be lemonade. They could all be lemonade. Could be sparkling iced tea. Could be seltzer. But we have the stemware. What do they call it? Wine chain. Okay. It doesn't have to be wine, though. I like to have sparkling water in a wine glass. It makes it taste better. Thirst quencher are the pitchers. Okay, so I just alternated the wine and the thirst quencher. All right, the wine and the pitchers, wine and the pitchers, wine and the pitchers. Same thing on this one, which then, you can just flip it over if you want to do double. This one on the darker paper, I did the opposite. I did the pitchers first with the wine in the middle. And of course, you save that confetti because you could always, if it's not on that opposite color, if it was on white or a lighter color, you could always add whatever beverage is in there, or you can punch whatever color beverage you're drinking. If it's lemonade or pink lemonade, if you punch a few in pink, then you'll get that the lemonade that you can put back in there. And there you go. And that is what I have. Now, whether you decide to try this technique or not, I just wanted to share with you how I store some of my pre-made pages and borders and embellishments. If you're not familiar with the fill and file sleeve binder, that's what this is. And these sleeves fit in there beautifully. And this is where I have my pre-made borders, and these are for the borders. And I have separate binders for my pre-made pages. But these are really wonderful because you can just slip the pre-made page in there, and you have double on here, and that way you can keep that. Here, this is good for embellishments. And the thing about these, they do fit in the binder, but they also fit in our Power Project sleeves. But this is how I store my borders, because you can fit a lot, especially like if you have duplicates of one, you can stack them and put them in here, and that protects them from getting all damaged until you're ready to use them. And you can also put them, as I said, right into your Power Project folders, or if you're working on a project and you're traveling with them, this is a great way to do it. I will put a link in my description for these because I love these. I use them all the time. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope this gave you some good ideas. Be daring. Mix up those border maker cartridges. Just remember to check to see if they're chain punches or if they're edge punches, and check and see underneath how they would fit together. You saw what happened. I thought mine would. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I'm human. Sometimes it doesn't work. That's okay. I like it anyway. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below. I will have links for the fill and file sleeves and the binder and for the border maker cartridge system if you're not familiar with that. If you have an advisor, please shop with your advisor. If you don't have one, pick me. I would love to be your advisor. If you're interested in becoming an advisor and taking advantage to some of the perks that we have, let's have a conversation. You can private message me or send me your email and we will talk. Until next time, happy scrapbooking.